What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so today I'm going to be telling y'all why I believe that the American Gods television series is actually better than the source material, the book. Granted, a lot of people are going to be saying, Brett, no such thing. No such thing as a television series or movie actually being better than its source material. And most of the time I would agree with you. The only other one besides American Gods that I even thought even come remotely close was Game of Thrones. And I'll tell you, this is the reason why I believe Game of Thrones was almost did it. Because Game of Thrones added to Daenerys and Tyrion and Tywin and a few other characters, added some really in-depth character progression in those three characters that I didn't feel like was in A Song of Ice and Fire. Yes, those characters, they were great on their own anyways, but I believe that because of the situations that the series put them in, that it actually added a little bit more to those characters. Instead of regressing backwards like it usually does, it actually added to the source material. But in the end of the day, it fell short. Bad last season. But let me tell you the reason why why I believe American Gods television series is actually better than the books, and it comes for that one main reason. It doesn't take away from the book as much as it gives to the book. It adds more to it. It adds more to a lot of the more the lesser characters on American Gods than the books did. Like it makes some of these characters that were really minor characters, Mr. Nancy, Laura Moon, it adds Mad Sweeney. It takes those characters that barely showed up in the book and actually makes those into characters that are living on their own. They're going on these subplots that are going this way and that way, and they're actually almost on equal standings, if not on equal standings, with the main characters, Mr. Wednesday and Shadow Moon. And I'll give you a good example of just a few that I feel like have just been are actually added more depth than what they were in the books, and that one is Laura Moon. Laura Moon in the books was basically just there to push the main protagonist into being the main protagonist, into desiring stuff, into wanting to continue moving forward. That was all she was there for. She was basically his dream and his point of living in a lot of different ways. Not so much in the series. Not so much in the series. In the series, actually, Laura Moon actually kind of takes on her own role on it. She takes, she's right up there with Shadow Moon. They're going in opposite directions. They're not necessarily going on the path to reconnecting and rekindling their fire as much as they are becoming their own characters in their own right at an equal level. She's not a side character. She is a main character of American Gods, the television series, where she was a minor character in the book. Another one that was that way, Mad Sweeney. Oh my goodness! In the books, he was barely even mentioned. He just was most. He played a specific role, but it wasn't like in depth in any fashion. He was just in there for a few scenes. In the television series, he's the best part about it. Like, he is literally the I will say that without question, Pablo Schreiber, Mad Sweeney, is actually the best part of American Gods. He is funny. He is entertaining. He is convoluted. You don't know what to expect out of this character. You don't know if he's the worst human or worst god out there, or if he's misunderstood. And sometimes he's heroic. There's times his relationship with Laura Moon in the television series, that alone is enough to say, okay, the series is better than the books. And I'll tell you the reason why is because their little road trip is one of my favorite parts of the entire series. How these characters that are so different and are really antagonistic towards each other kind of almost to a certain extent fall in love with each other, need each other. It's kind of how Pablo Schreiber's Mad Sweeney, how he goes from this person just wanting his coin back to actually being willing to sacrifice the one thing that he needs more than anything, which is his lucky coin, to keep her alive. And you find out a little bit later on in the television series, Mad Sweeney has a really complicated history when it comes to, being the god, a god. He was basically, told he was going to die in this battle, and he just, left everything. Left his family, left everything. Left his people. He abandoned them. So he's looking for that battle to, I guess, redeem himself. And that's why he's in the service of Mr. Wednesday, is to find that battle. To, I guess, redeem him from his past wrongs. Overall, he got a specific battle. It wasn't the battle that he intended, but he felt like because of his love for Laura Moon and the terrible things that Mr. Wednesday had him do to this, basically this love interest of his, that he was willing to just trade that to take on Mr. Wednesday. That is character progression. And that character progression you see more in American Gods television series than what you do even in the book. In the book, a lot of the characters are one and done. It seems like every character that is introduced in the series will play a role. They're not going to be characters that are just there for that one episode. They're going to play most of them are going to play a significant role down the road. You're going to get a really good emphasis of that character. You're going to learn their backstory. You're going to learn who they are, how they're feeling, what their passions are, what they're concerned about, their fears, their goals, everything you're going to learn. Was missing a lot in the book. Like I said, where a lot of these characters, in a lot of different ways, were nothing more than there for a few scenes and then one and done. Another thing that I think that the show really brings out, that the books did bring out to a certain extent, but the show highlights, is the immigration aspect of it. You have these characters, these gods, that are basically, they fit with the whole American culture of the melting pot. They come from all these different aspects of life, and yet they come together for a common goal. To me, there's nothing more American than that. E pluribus unum, out of many one. You have that with these gods. That, hey, these old gods, they look at it and they go, you know what? We're going to have to pair up together to take on these new gods. That, to me, that could not have happened in a better place than America. You can say what you want, but at the end of the day, that's what America is supposed to stand for. And I believe in a lot of different ways, it still stands for that. But I feel like this show takes on immigration and the coalescing of what it's supposed to look like, and takes on issues of the day while also showing the best sides of it, of how it can work. I get it. These are characters in a show, but these characters represent nations and different peoples and things. So in a way, these characters are showcasing how these people can coalesce with these other people without the infighting, without the hatred and the bigotry and the racism and all of that. And they come together for that common goal. You see the beauty of that in this television series. You see it. And another thing that I feel like this show, that the series brings out more than even the books, and I get at the book, I feel like the American Guy, the book, when it first came out, like I said, the internet was still young. It was, it would talk about, of course, the new media and all of this stuff that was going on, Mr. World, all of that, Technical Boy, all of that, those gods were in the book. But living in 2021 and seeing the progression of how technology is just all encompassing, how no matter how you try to get away from it, you are stuck with it. It is as much a part of you as what your family is in a lot of ways. Because in a lot of ways, you can't go without it. There's not very many people that can just throw away their cell phones, their laptops, their televisions, any of that, to go live, I don't know, on a farm where there's nothing out there. It's almost impossible now, due to currency issues and the way the job formats. There's not as much agricultural jobs out there. It's what there used to be. So we are forced to have this significant bond with technology. And to me, this show brings out the dangers of that. The series brings out more of the dangers of that than what they do, than what it does in the book. And why I say it brings out more of the dangers is because you get to see firsthand just how how technology is just ruining basic morality. It's morality, no matter how you look at it, of what religion, or whether you believe in religion or don't believe in religion, or what denomination you are. We all have, as human beings, this specific point of morality of how we believe that this coexistence ability of, we believe that, okay, there's a certain dignity in a human being. Technology kind of ruins that in a lot of ways. Technology makes it where that we are, we're so dependent upon it, and we use technology as a way to beat people over the head. Certain companies and use and certain people on the internet use technology as a way to control and to manipulate and to do these terrible things that would normally in the light of day, face to face, would be frowned upon. But because it's on the internet, people just are like, what, that's just life now. So to me, it touches on the moral aspect of what technology is doing to this society as a whole now. Something that back in 2001, when American God, the book, was first out, wasn't so all encompassing. We had television sets right there. I remember 2001. We had television sets. I don't even know if we even had flip phones at that time. But I mean, let's just face it. It was nothing like it is today. Nothing. I remember I was in school at that time. I remember going with a CD player and thinking that was something back in the day. Now look at everything. Like, I had maybe had to burn like 10 songs at my disposal and on a CD. Now I can get endless songs on my Pandora. Like, I mean, it's so amazing how far technology has come and how dependent upon it we actually are. So in those various aspects, I feel like that the series has actually branched out more or from the source material. They've added instead of taking away. You know, in a lot of these series, they can't go through all the different subplots. But no, you know what? American Gods is like, you know what? We're not going to cut it. We're going to add to it. And we're going to add all these side trips. We're going to make these minor characters into major characters. We're going to give them a role to play, and we're going to make it amazing. And that's something that is just not out there for any other television series. It is, or I mean, to me, it's just a million times better than what the book is. Agree, disagree? Let me know in the comment sections. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and take care.